Today we're going to be introducing the formula for finding the whole. This is the problem that we're going to be working with. So, to find the whole of any quantity, we multiply the quantity by the reciprocal of its fraction. So before you actually apply the formula, there are certain aspects of it that you have to understand. First, you need to understand what reciprocal means. So here we have 3/7, and I'm not going to go too in depth into reciprocal, but here we have 3/7. The reciprocal of 3/7 would be 7/3. So I'm sure you notice that the fraction was inverted. 3 over 7 is now 7 over 3. So the reciprocal of 3/7 is 7/3. Here's another example. We have 1/5. The reciprocal of 1/5 is 5 wholes. So you see you have to invert the fraction. So back to the formula. To find the whole of any quantity, we multiply the quantity by the reciprocal of its fraction, and that's really important. The fraction and the quantity must represent the same thing. They must represent the same thing. So for instance, if the fraction represents boys, the quantity must also represent boys. If the fraction represents the number of girls, the quantity must also represent the number of girls. And here in our example, we have the boys in the class from our previous example. 4/7, that's the fraction that represents the boys. 4 out of 7 students are boys. And here we have the numeral, the number 4, representing the boy. So the fraction and the quantity, they represent the same thing. So here's our problem. 4/7 of the students in my class are boys. If there are 4 boys, how many students are there in the class? Now, first we need to underline or highlight important words and details. So here I've highlighted important details. Now, we know that we have to find the whole because the problem says, how many students are there in the class? Meaning all the students, boys and girls. So we know that we have to find the whole. So could we say that 4/7 is 4? Could we say that 4/7 is 4? For us to be able to say that 4/7 is 4, the fraction and the quantity must represent the same thing. So what does 4/7 represent? Well, the problem states 4/7 of the students in my class are boys. Therefore, the fraction 4/7 would represent the number of boys in the class. Next, the problem stated if there are 4 boys. Therefore, the number 4 represents the number of boys in the class. So we can say that 4/7 is 4. So we are showing here that the fraction and the quantity represent the same thing. The boys' fraction, 4/7, the boys' quantity, 4. So we proceed to find the whole. So since we know that 4/7 is 4, we use our formula. We apply the formula. We multiply the quantity. The quantity is 4. We multiply the quantity by the reciprocal of its fraction. We know that the quantity's fraction is 4/7, but we don't multiply by 4/7. We multiply by the reciprocal, which is 7/4. You see that the fraction was inverted. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 7 times 1 is 7. So altogether, we have 7 students. So students, this is how we apply the formula for finding the whole. To find the whole of any quantity, you multiply the quantity by the reciprocal of its fraction. It must be the quantity's fraction. If the quantity represents the number of girls, the fraction must also represent the number of girls. Okay, so let's practice. I have 3 word problems here for you all to solve. You are going to use the formula. In our previous video, we looked at using diagrams to find the whole, and we also saw some limitations of using the diagram. So here we have introduced the formula. So let me know how you all get on in the comments below.